Have you seen this? In the late 90s to early 2000s, UK culture was having its moment. Not since Beatlemania and sometime in the 1500s did Britain have culture worth exporting.
Welcome to Have You Seen This?
The world's only podcast about obscure, overlooked, and misbegotten media.
All discussions will be spoiler heavy.
You have been warned.
This show would not be possible without the support of our patrons. If you would like to support our show, join us at patreon.com/haveyouseenthis. For just $5 a month, get access to our Discord and all 3 episodes every month covering movies you've never heard of, or maybe wish you hadn't. Your country's for wankers.
I hope that fits. But Jen, I want to start this off with a pertinent question. Is this another musical?
I think so. I think it counts.
Okay, cool.
I don't think anyone would argue with you about this.
I think people who watch and enjoy quote-unquote musicals would have an issue with this. They would say that is not a musical. At no point does Victoria Beckham turn to the camera and start singing about her feelings.
Well, I mean, those people might be purists. And
gatekeepers, the worst.
Yeah. The other, and that's another good word for purists. The other one is assholes.
All right, cool. So welcome to, have you listened to these couple of assholes talk about movies?
Yes. If you're an asshole, this is the show for you.
This is the podcast for you, yes. Thank you to our patrons.
You stupid assholes.
So why are we reviewing Spice World at this point in time? A movie from 1997.
Well, do you want a bullshit reason or a real reason?
I want both.
Okay, well, the bullshit reason is I was under the misapprehension that this movie actually underperformed at the box office. I'm not sure why I thought that. I think I just assumed because so many other movies of this type have failed to find an audience. Like, not everybody can turn out A Hard Day's Night. Boy, was I wrong, because Spice World is apparently the biggest moneymaker in the category of movies centered around a band.
So they're the puppet show to Spinal Tap's Spinal Tap.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, and I was looking at
a pretty rarefied genre, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I mentioned the Beatles' first movie, Hard Day's Night. There's also Help, which also made money, but which people agree wasn't quite as good as the first one.
Yeah, it needed help.
Yeah, we talked about Magical Mystery Tour on the show, so you all know how we felt about that. Also, isn't it weird that both Spice World and Magical Mystery Tour have a band member driving a bus real crazy?
It goes deeper than that, because I asked you if this is a musical when, in fact, it is a horror movie, because I've talked about this before. Like, you're watching a horror movie, and you know there's a twist at some point. It's like we talked about in Horror of the High Desert, textbook example. You think you're watching one movie, it turns out you're watching another. And something that I've learned from role playing advice is terror is committing to a plan without understanding the danger you're in. Like saying, sure, Jen, let's review Spice World, only to get about halfway through when you realize you're watching a movie that is about a band of British musicians with distinctive personalities taking a bus tour through the UK countryside where they meet an unintelligible drill instructor, and you're like, oh shit, well, I'm watching a Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh my god. Wow.
I didn't even realize. I'm halfway through and I'm like, god damn it, Jen.
I didn't realize it until you just said it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly a little freaked out right now. Do you think it's an homage?
I don't know. Do you think this movie was big on cultural references?
Yeah. I don't know, Tim.
Yeah.
You tell me. Oh, I didn't tell you the real reason that I actually suggested this for this week. It's because I am completely swamped with non-podcast work, and I basically wanted to punt. I wanted an easy one for this week. What's easier than this fluffy little movie about these 5 holes who conquer
Right.
the world.
Yeah, just prattle on and squawk and chirp and whatever.
I like makeup. Meh, meh, meh. You know, the thing that women do.
Yeah, doing some light improv, commenting on each other's media personalities, making allusions to other British culture by way of a fashion shoot, cameos from other British celebrities. It's a very light movie.
Yeah, featherweight, one might say.
Yeah, and partly I think that our listeners who are pretty tuned in on movies will have heard the same thing we did, which is, oh, Spice Girls is actually a much better movie than it has any right to be. And I would not go that far. Mm-hmm. It is as good as the Spice Girls were.
Right.
It is skilled entertainment that you wouldn't admit to your friends that you like.
Yeah, I agree. It's
not a Hard Day's Night,
no.
but there's some jokes where I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that this movie it still fits with the show theme because it has achieved a kind of cult status. Because the reason that I thought it didn't succeed initially was because critics were really hard on it, which...
Well, yeah.
I feel like even if it had been like a pretty solid movie, there would have been an impulse. There would have been an impulse to be like, "Oh, Spice Girls, like, it's for little girls. Who gives a shit?" You know, it's like that's true of like most bands that make movies, to be honest.
Right, because this does have drama in it that is like literally for babies. It is something.
Yes.
It's something that like you would find on an ABC like movie of the week and be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, unless I can understand critics savaging it, because unless you're doing something that is like on the level of Head, which also flopped, like it's a really tough sell to have a movie that's like, we're just gonna follow around some entertainers and just let them rip, and then that'll be the movie. And you're like, is that a movie? Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, you can get 2 extra episodes every month, plus access to our growing catalog of reviews for just $5 a month by going to patreon.com and searching for Have You Seen This?